It's been a long time since I've seen such polarizing reactions for a film, one that ranges from absolute love to calling it a completely messy film. This is exactly what excites me about movies, the ability of a fictional story to develop such a range of emotions among the audience. Atrangi, since its trailer, has been embroiled in many discussions, mostly based on conjecture and the idea of what the film might be based on. Everything from analysis videos on its story, the reason for the age gap between characters, and what exactly is the point of contention that was left at bay in the trailer. I actually love the way this film has been marketed. Besides the Reels page annoyingly being filled with chaka-chak dance numbers, I love how Anand L Rai especially wanted this film to be judged after it is experienced. There is something weirdly magical about Anand L Rai films, especially when they focus on love stories. Atrangi becomes another addition to my kitty of high-concept films that are grounded in their approach, yet have this charm to absolutely engross you. The film focuses on Rinku, played by Sara Ali Khan, whose family just wants her to get married so that they can ease off their responsibilities of dealing with her random outbursts. So they do what is plausible in their mind. They abduct a man, Vishu, played by Dhanush, to forcibly marry them by putting him on laughing gas and send them their way to deal with being a married couple now. What transpires ahead of this, which includes Rinku's obsession with another man, Sajjad, played by Akshay Kumar, and Dhanush dealing with this complexity, forms the basic storyline of Atrangi. An interesting, odd and weird ride is something that this film will ensure. In no way a perfect film, but at the same time you have to be a real cynic to absolutely trash this movie. Getting right into it, here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the film so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch Atrangi on DisneyPlus Hotstar or not. The underwhelming aspects. Erratic switch. There is a point in this film where you see a switch or transition of feelings that Dhanush has for Sara. I feel strictly from a length point of view, more time could have been spent on the interaction between Rinku and Vishu while they are in Delhi for the audience to believe why he has become so fond of her. It almost comes out of nowhere that Dhanush's character becomes coy and is helplessly smiling at the very presence of Rinku. The film is 2 hours and 17 minutes long, and I genuinely believe that if more moments existed of Vishu falling head over heels for Rinku, his switch to be with her would have made sense from a screenplay point of view. I just feel that they rushed the sentiment that he had for Rinku, overwhelming even viewers of where such intensity came from, literally going from 0 to 100 rather than it being a slow build-up. Science and mental health. The film essentially is a fairy tale, and what often alludes to what can be best described as a fairy tale is the loopholes that one may find from a pragmatic standpoint. The reason for the polarizing reactions of this film is because you will fall into two categories, either absolutely buying the vision of Anand L Rai and Himanshu Sharma or completely being disconnected, so much so that you only see every beat of the film with skepticism. The film only scratches the surface, and probably not even that for some people, with respect to the nuanced concept of mental health and the application of science to understand one's circumstances. The film is almost reductive in terms of what are the solutions that need to be found in order to tackle a very layered and complex subject. I'm running around in circles as I cannot spoil the film for you, but you will understand what I'm talking about when you watch the film. What in our mind could have been correlated and fleshed out almost with great detailing and practicality is instead showcased through a lens of odd fantasy. You will either buy into this or be a cynic to the vision. I also have to say that in almost all Anand L Rai Himanshu Sharma films, there is a consistent appearance of toxicity and intensity in love, where it has made me uncomfortable, be it in Ranjana or Tanu Weds Manu, where I just did not agree with the politics that was communicated about love and how characters express it, but this is the rare time where characters act out with a purpose and the intention was clear rather than just the flippant response of ki pyar aisa hi hota hai. The moment that we have seen all in the trailer where Dhanush breaks a bottle in his head has a correlation to what he wants to prove rather than it just being an act of a person losing his mind. I just wanted to put it out there. The good. Staging and editing. What this film will not get a lot of credit for is how difficult it is to translate from a script to an audiovisual medium. As many layers of this film storyline get explored, you realize the complex job that Anand L Rai has to do from a basic staging and editing standpoint. This is not only tricky from how it is showcased visually, but especially becomes challenging for actors as well. The conviction with which you have to tell this odd fairy tale can only be successful if you have absolute faith in the vision of a creator that will translate this on screen, and I think what the actors have done is surrender to Anand L Rai. And I wholeheartedly believe that the sole reason for this film working is because no matter how absurd the storytelling may get, you have faith in a person who takes up the daunting task of making it a cohesive piece. The music. I was going to say this later, but screw it, I'll say it now. If Dhanush is the heart of Atrangi, undoubtedly its soul is A.R. Rahman. While I cannot compare it to the Ranjana soundtrack, which I believe is one of his best work in this decade, the Atrangi music album is truly special and is definitely one of the best we have seen this year. The track Ret Zara Si plays through most of this film and hands down is my favorite song from the album. The vocals of Arijit Singh and the lyrics of Irshad Kamil highlight the aching pain that is communicated through this film's storyline. Tumhe Mohabbat Hai and Little Little have also become some of my favorite tracks. I was getting flashbacks to just a year ago where we were complaining about Hindi music, and let's give credit where credit is due. 2021 movie music albums have been absolutely beautiful. We often highlight the negatives more, but this year has given us some melodious tunes. The concept. My biggest gripe with the hostility that comes with films that attempt to do something different is because it is followed by chatter around how individuals are not taking risks with respect to storytelling. Dismissing films for even trying is not my cup of tea. Atrangi Re gives a twist to the romance genre and I'm all for it. I have to be honest and say that this is the first time after probably Laila Majnu in 2018 that I have been emotionally invested in characters in a romantic genre. So much so that it actually made me tear up. Something that I cannot say for the romance genre in Hindi cinema lately. It's both the combination of Anand L Rai and Himanshu Sharma's vision and the performances in this film that really made me buy this unique concept and defend it against absolutely being dismissed. The cast, but Dhanush steals the show. The best friend role has been mastered by some actors. You think of the praise that is showered at Apar Shakti Khurana, Varun Sharma, or even Mohammad Zishan Ayub. But I think credit needs to be given to Ashish Verma, who is a constant figure in so many fictional worlds but is never given due respect. Playing the role of MS who has to deal with his best friend's problems, providing much needed practical solutions every step of the way, he just does not miss a beat. I realized through this film that Sara is an actor that shines dependent on who she works with, as you have to play to her strengths and almost mask her imperfections as a performer. Only Abhishek Kapoor and Anand L Rai have had the capability to do so. Sara in this film is a hit and a miss for me, shining in moments where she is reacting to characters but faltering in some where she has to lend intense emotion. She is extremely convincing when she is chirpy, but in outbursts where she has to project her voice, her delivery falters sporadically. She needs to be given credit for her effort, but it makes me think about how perfect this film would have been if there was a stronger actor playing Rinku's role. I assume Sara would only get better, but it is one of her stronger performances from her filmography. I have a lot of respect also for Akshay Kumar taking up the role in this universe for the limited screen time the character possesses. His character and its integration into the story and the choice to have an actor like Akshay Kumar seems fully justified. There's no debate about the fact that Dhanush is the heart of this film, and one of the main reasons why it becomes a recommendation from my side to all of you to watch Atrangi Re. We live in 2021 where in a Hindi film a Tamil actor in his mother tongue can have an emotional monologue, and it still makes us teary-eyed, indicating how far we have come to embrace different cultures from our own land and understand that the story overrides any language barrier. His helpless state, frustration, and breaking down all account for several beautiful moments that make Atrangi Re the interesting outing that it is. Again, as I previously said, this film is not perfect, suffering through many loopholes in its screenplay, but it's a fairy tale that demands abandon from the viewer. And so I was lost in its vision and totally taken aback by an actor like Dhanush, who clearly stole the show. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about the movie. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.